But this is a good way, I found, year before last, to grow out some onions. Really good way to do that. And then once you pull the onions, you're freeing up your tubs for the next, for a fall crop of something. It could be squash, it could be tomatoes, whatever. All right, so it's onion planting time, and I told you that I'd do something a little bit different this year. Now, I have done it once in years past, and that is I'm planting onions. I think all my onions this year are going to be in wicking tubs. I did that year before last, I think, not last year, but year before last. Had excellent results. Maybe I can find some footage and put on the screen right about now. But really good results planting onions in these wicking tubs. They just they prove to be a really great place to put onions. Now, you can't get a bunch of onions in here, but you can get enough. And so what we're going to do, and you're going to, when I'm through, you're going to say I'm planting them way too close together, and you are absolutely right, because you should plant onions maybe 6 inches apart, 6 to 8 inches apart, if you want that big, round, big, sweet onion, which is what I want. But I'm telling you what I'm going to do, and then calm down, it's going to be all right. So what I'm doing, these are the Vidora onions from Hass. I've already planted 3 tubs. I'll show you those when I get through planting all of it. Some of these are really big. I'm putting those aside for right now. And the smaller ones, I'm going to plant along the very edge here, because I'm gonna pull those as green onions. I'm going to pull those to eat during the year before they start bulbing, before they get big. So that's why I'm planting so close together, because I know I'm going to be thinning them out hard. In other words, I'll be pulling out a bunch for green onions, and I'll try to be strategic when I pull green onions, and I'll tell anybody that comes out here to pull an onion to be a little strategic, leave some room in between, because I want some of them to get big, and I'm going to have to leave some room around those. So maybe have 10 or so, maybe 10 or more onions in here that I can allow to get big. And the rest of them I'll be pulling as green onions, because we love to eat us some green onions. But the big ones I'm going to put kind of in the middle, or in places kind of to where, with it in mind, to pull those around it. That probably may not make any sense to you, but if you start planting, you'll know what I'm talking about. What I'm doing is making a hole and putting it in. I'm planting deeper than I normally plant, and here's a reason why. This tub had a big layer of wood chips on top of it. You can still see a lot of those wood chips. They have not broken down. A lot of them did, but the ones on top haven't broken down. So I want to make sure that I plant that onion down in the potting mix that's underneath here. I should have said about 2 weeks ago, I came in here and put that 543 Hass Complete Organic fertilizer. It was about a pound, or I don't remember if it was about a pound or 2 pounds, but it was 2 full cups, or a little over 2 cups, maybe 2 1/4, on each one of these tubs, and mixed it in real good. But I want to get below. I'm pushing it down in there a little further, making the hole a little further than I normally would if I was in the ground, because I want that onion to get down in there and to get all the roots down in there, first of all, but also to get through the compost layer, or the wood chip layer, down into the potting mix. Typically, I don't plant deep at all. Typically, I'm going to plant an onion. Let me get a bigger one here. I'm going to plant an onion, put the root in the ground at about another 1/2 inch, something like that. These are going a little deeper than that, a little deeper than I normally would, simply because I'm going to pull these, especially these on the outside. I'm going to pull these pretty doggone quick, because we're going to start getting a hankering for some green onions, and we'll be able to come out, and I'll tell my wife to come out to the make sure she pulls on the edges first, because I'm putting them on real close to the edge, maybe an inch and a half from the edge, knowing that I'm not going to let them get that big. So I'm not worried about these here bulbing, getting to be a big onion. I am concerned about these here getting to be a big onion. So those are going to be the big ones that I put out. And for right now, we're going to try to choose a few smaller ones. And about every 2 inches, maybe every 3 inches, even closer than that. Because see, this one I'll put here, and when I pull these two, then this one has a chance to get big. So I'll have maybe 10 or 12, maybe 15 in here that I'm gonna let get big. Big one, good roots. Man, these onions have good root systems. These again came from Hoss. This is the Vidora. It's a Vidalia type onion. And some of these, like I say, the small ones will get big too. Don't think those small ones won't get big. But look at the root system on these onions. Really nice set of roots on these onions. When you get a set of onions like this, plants, onion sets, just tease them apart. The roots are all intertwined, and they'll come apart pretty easy, easier than what you think. You look at them, you think you got a big conglomerated mess, and you're going to have all sorts of trouble. Well, I don't think you will. They come apart pretty easy. And make sure you kind of pinch together, press together. You want that good contact. This is the first time I've ever got onion sets, or onion plants, depends on your terminology, from Hoss. I've bought seeds from them before, onion seeds, tried that. To me, that's just a lot of work. So if I can get them like this, shoot, I'm all about that, because these are perfect size, and these are better than you're gonna buy in the store. I usually get mine. The only time I've gotten onions from Hoss in the past is the seeds. Every other time I buy them at the feed store. I buy onions at the feed store. Well, they're not ready typically till the end of December, if then. There's been some supply chain problems, and I think last December, or one before that, they were hard to find. So just trying to find a good place to put a big one, because I left some of these big ones out, and I should have put the big ones in maybe first, and then planted around the big ones with the little ones. But first time I've gotten sets or onion plants from Hoss, and I am completely impressed with the size of these, the size of the roots. And I've never grown the Vidora, but it's supposed to be a Vidalia type onion, which is what we grow around here, a sweet, short day onion. Okay, so I've got all 4 of them planted. This is all the Vidora onions. I've got 4 more tubs left, and I've got 2 different kinds of onions. So I'll split those up, because I want to see what each one of them kind of look like, grow out like, and taste like, and whatever. But I haven't watered yet. I'm gonna come in here and water real good, but gently, so I don't uproot the onions. And then I'll fill up the tubes, of the wicking tub part of it, and get that done, and show you when they start growing good. I'll give you another update on it. But this is a good way, I found, year before last, to grow out some onions. Really good way to do that. And then once you pull the onions, you're freeing up your tubs for the next, for a fall crop of something. It could be squash, it could be tomatoes, whatever. The Vidora onions look absolutely fantastic, as well as the other 2 varieties I got. But that's what they look like right now before I water them. But I am going to water them right now, because I don't want them to dry out, and I want that soil to close up around that onion. I want all that soil, watered in good, to where that soil just comes in and seals that onion up. That's what you want. So that's what we're going to do, and they look good right now. And if you hadn't planted in a wicking tub, I might want to experiment a little bit and see what you think about it. But they have done well for me in the past, and I think they're going to do great this year also. And I think that's it. We're gone.